I hope you guys are getting a lot of value out of the Family Recovery Academy so far. Just this week, I've got a lot of really positive feedback, but I did get one suggestion. One of our members in the Family Recovery Academy requested that I make a video about how to deal with extended family who basically don't get it and are sabotaging your effort. And I want you to know that I take your feedback and suggestions seriously, which is why I'm making this video for you about that very topic. Unfortunately, this is a pretty common problem. Say, for example, you're in the Family Recovery Academy because of your child, but their grandparent keeps enabling them and just doesn't get it. Happens all the time. Or maybe you're in the family recovery program about your spouse, but their parent, maybe your mother-in-law or father-in-law, they don't get it and they keep enabling your spouse. You can have this aunts, uncles, cousins, all kind of extended family, and even just these sort of family friends or close people to the family that really don't quite understand the seriousness of the issue, the dynamics involved, and they will sabotage you for sure. And a lot of that has to do with the splitting that occurs. Hopefully you guys have seen my videos on manipulation, and specifically the one on splitting, where the person with the addiction pits one person against another person. I mean, this is so symptomatic of addiction. It almost always happens. In fact, I want to say always because I can't think of a time when it doesn't happen. But I just try not to use that word. But that's the only reason I'm not saying it. So you've got the addict, the alcoholic, they're telling one person one thing, the other person another thing, and they're purposefully instigating you or other people to act in certain ways to prove their point to the other person. And so it's like a puppet master, seriously, up here pulling the strings. And it's very difficult to fight against this. And I wish there were some kind of magic words that you could say. I have had people request that the other family member watch some of the YouTube videos, which has seemed to help. So you can do that if you think that person might be receptive to that. If you think the door is just absolutely shut, I got some bad news for you. The only thing you're going to be able to do is let them come to terms with it for themselves. Stop playing that bad guy role so that your addicted loved one can stop making you out to be the crazy person that's too controlling and mean. And that will help the other family member stop jumping in and rescuing, because a lot of times they think they're being the hero and that you're being too mean to them, and they're trying to balance that out, but they really are just enabling. So sometimes what you gotta do, I hate to say it, but you just got to hand it over to them, because sometimes you just can't get it till it's living in your house and it's done happened to you. Because guess what? If your loved one goes over there and lives with them, it might be good for a few weeks or so, but then it's going to turn on them. And then they're going to do something that's going to make that person really upset, like steal their money or not be responsible or not follow through with what they said or not do what they're supposed to do around the house or whatever. Then that person's going to get upset with them. Then the whole drama triangle starts over, and now all of a sudden this person will be being the bad guy to them. And so once they've experienced it for themselves, they're probably going to come around to your way of thinking. That happens in most all cases. Occasionally, you may have this extended family member who is just so toxic that they're just never going to see it. And I just hate to tell you this, but there's not a lot you can do about that. And there's not a lot you can do for your loved one as long as they're in the picture, and it's so hard. Sometimes this is even like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, especially if this is your kid or your nephew or something. There's this toxic, enabling boyfriend or girlfriend in the picture, and that's the worst. Especially if they're using drugs, you just feel like you're going to beat your head against the wall and you're just not going to get anywhere. So overall, what I can tell you is plan A, have them watch some videos. Maybe that'll work. Plan B, let them live with it for a while and maybe they'll come around to your way of thinking. Plan C, just move forward, do what I'm teaching you to do, and you're just going to have to let that sit there on simmer, and you're just going to have to say a serenity prayer to yourself 10 times a day, because it's one of those things that you cannot control. And I get how frustrating it is. There's nothing that makes me crazier than when I'm working with a family who maybe their kid is addicted, maybe it's a young adult. I always say kid, and there's another adult out there who's enabling that kid, like, because the kid will go around and tell everybody, like, my parents threw me out. They just have this whole sad story, and then some other adult out there thinks that they can parent better than you can parent. Oh my gosh, that makes me so crazy. I hope that's not happening to you. But guess what? Let it go get in their house. They're gonna learn the hard way too. Hate it, but that's just the way it is.